Hello everybody, my name is Edwidge Miranda Mondesier. Sorry I haven't posted the videos lately or even come up with a video yet because I've been so caught up and busy around March 20th, around March 17, 18. So last court date I had was March 17th, and it was just another continuance as usual. And after the 17th of my court date, I tried, during the 17th, I had Kenneth Wixell if I could perform a habeas corpus. He said I need to be in custody. And that was completely false. That was a lie. And I asked if I could change the venue. He said I can't change the venue. So during March 18 or March 19, I'll pull up the picture in a little bit. I went to the federal courthouse in downtown LA, and I filed a habeas corpus there for my behalf, along my parents' behalf. We all filed a habeas corpus, and a habeas corpus basically gets to the bottom line and identifies with whether if the situation or probable cause was lawful or unlawful, which is unlawful. That's why they don't want to perform a habeas corpus in their own courthouse. So I went to federal courthouse because federal is above state. State is minor to federal. Federal is like the parent. Federal is like the father, and state is the child in this situation. So I filed it there. I filed a habeas corpus by myself. I filed a change of venue by myself and gave the reason why for the change of venue, which is the extreme bias and discrimination that me and my family are facing. So around March 19, I filed a federal lawsuit into the courthouse I'll be showing. And I have a letter here from the United States District of California courthouse. And I've opened the other ones, and basically what this letter is saying, I don't want to get into too much depth into this because this is federal and I do not want to break any federal rules. So once, like, literally we start going to court in federal, I cannot discuss much about it because it could be a federal offense and I do not want to disobey or break any federal rule. So this is just to confirm, everybody, that it is taken by a judge. Our case is handled by a judge. The habeas corpus, along with the change of venue, is now handled by a judge in the federal courthouse, a magistrate judge. And I could probably go a little bit through it. I could tell you it's a notice of judge assignment in reference to a United States magistrate judge. Petition for a habeas corpus motion. And it's Edwidge Miranda, the petitioner, versus the people of Ventura County. And it just gives me all the detail right here about the next court date and what I had to do. And this was filed on March 27th by the deputy clerk, that it is now taken by a judge. This was all filed on the 27th, I think, for the habeas. But the first time that I went was for the change of venue. So as I told everybody about that, so yeah, I went to the federal courthouse. We got the way to change the venue. And then I think it was around March 28th or something. 28th, 29th, I'll take a picture, put it up here for you guys. Me and my mother went to Ventura County courthouse, and we are there to just serve them. We gave them a notice of removal, meaning federal has accepted our claims and requests to change the venue or to file this petition. Therefore, federal gave us a copy or a paper of the original notice of removal, and they were giving us the runaround, and everybody's gonna see it here in the video. They're giving the runaround, saying that they can't stamp it and take the copy and give us a copy.
I'm here to file this. For me, my children's father, my partner, and my son. All three of us are in there. I don't know if you need our case numbers, but we have our minute orders. You have that case number, right?
It's usually the same. Literally the case number we have.
No, that's federal, hun. I'm moving my case to federal. I already filed it in federal. They just told me to give you guys that.
Yeah. It's a notice.
Notice
that we're moving.
That I'm moving my venue from here to over there. And I went inside the courthouse. Adriana in appeal told me to come here to file it here with you.
Have a case number?
Yeah, I have a case number. Here it is.
That's one of them.
That's one of them.
This is.
There's another one. I have two cases. He has one. My children's father has three.
We all have the same case.
Yeah.
With one of them.
This one, is it this one?
Yeah.
Can it be this one?
All right. For this one,
It's me and Dad.
And me.
And me. What about Daddy?
And then for Dad is the other one that you gave to her.
Okay.
You both have it.
So
you two have those same cases. I
Yeah.
don't have that last case you gave to
I know. So
And then you have to do follow.
The 2235 one. That case you and Dad have. And then the one that I'm on is the one that we're assigned to, which is the
I think
202
people are just too busy now.
5664.
yeah.
That's what comes down to.
I have another minute order, another case number if you need it.
Is it? Let me see.
The new one. I mean
It's
the
the same.
other.
It's the same.
Type of civil department.
No, this is criminal.
I went from civil. I went from inside to. They told me to file it here at the criminal.
Who was it that told you to file it here?
The criminal. The lady in the appeal,
Adriana.
she told me to file it here because it's criminal. My case is criminal. Well, all of us.
Moment, okay?
Yes.
We're not able to file this.
Why not?
That was already filed with LA.
Yeah, but I have to bring it here.
Like a verification.
Verification.
You might want to give this to your public defender. It looks like you have a public defender. They can guide you in how to.
The thing is, they're doing fraud. They're not trying to help us. But I was told that I have to file it here in the criminal clerk. You guys are a criminal clerk. You guys have to call your supervisor because this makes no sense.
Supposedly, all that needs to be done is a stamp.
It's a
to
stamp for you guys
County.
to
It's like
stamp
a
it
notice
that you guys received it.
That they're gonna remove the case to federal.
Give me one moment, okay?
Yeah.
That's exactly all I was saying the whole time. Is this is a notice for removal? Federal told us to come over here. You get us the copy of it. You stamp the original. You keep the copy of it, of the original, and you give us a copy of the original. And he was saying, no, you don't do that. You can't do that. But federal was saying, this is horse crap. Like, that's not exactly what he's telling you is the truth.
And then this is a Los Angeles Superior Court case?
Federal. I'm taking you guys to federal. I'm moving my case from here to federal. I already filed it over there.
This is just
Okay.
a notice.
It's just a notice that I filed it already over there. I'm letting you guys know.
And so
Okay, so
basically,
you're trying to file it on this case?
yeah. So
On all three.
So
Okay.
the clerk said over there said we turn this in. You guys stamp it. You get a copy of it, and then you give us the copy
No,
of the
it doesn't
stamp.
work that way. What clerk?
The clerk in federal.
Okay, so we don't...
They expect the stamp back. See, the thing is,
Okay.
I have to
but
bring that back
on
with the
this
stamp.
case, you're represented by the public defender's office. So you have an attorney. You need to show this to your attorney then.
But it's all three of us. My children's father is not. He's representing
He's
himself,
pro
so I have to submit his
on
right
this
here.
case.
Yeah. same
All
case.
three of us have cases. Me,
Okay.
the dad, and him.
And then, so for you, because this is... You're asking to have this.
Yeah, but our names are in the bottom. All three of us.
Refresh
That's
I
for
understand
one.
that, but if so, for your case, so we're not filing under this. We don't have this case.
No,
number.
you're not filing under that. I'm
Okay,
letting
but
you
why
guys
am I
know
accepting this then?
because you guys are. I'm notifying you guys that I'm moving my case. But they told me that you guys have to stamp it and I have to return it back to theirs.
So you need to let your attorney of record know that. Your public defender know that. They're representing you on this case.
But they told me to go to the county clerk office on criminal.
County clerk, which is next door.
Criminal. Adriana told us to come here
To
at 118.
office?
Yeah,
At
118.
the appeal office told me to come here to file it here.
Okay, to criminal traffic or the DA's office?
here, 118.
118.
Okay, because
118.
we, again, so, because they're not familiar with our practices.
Okay, because we're fighting criminal cases
So
here.
I understand that, and I'm letting you know appeals is different.
Oh,
from us.
yeah. I understand that, but they told me they can't file it in there in that fighting
Correct.
room, so I have to file it here
I
on
can't
criminal.
file this in this case. I can't accept this in this case. You need to show your attorney because it needs to be addressed in court.
So who's
By
gonna
me
stamp it?
receiving this, I can't just stamp something. We don't just stamp something without us. Your attorney of record on this case.
Well, because I have to
stamp this-
return it to the clerk in federal.
So
They wanna
I'm
see the
not talking
stamp.
about them, but your public defender for the Ventura Superior Court case, you need to go see them to let them know of what's going on. They are representing you in this
But
case.
the father doesn't have a public defender. He's representing himself, so I have to submit on his behalf here.
Okay, so you have an ongoing case, this one. You need to, have you let the public defender know this?
No, because they told me to file it in criminal. They told me to file in the criminal window. Come
Appeal
straight here.
told you that.
Yeah.
Corrections. I can submit here.
Okay, Miranda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you for your patience. So you are, let me make sure back up. You're submitting this on his behalf.
All three of us.
There's a third one? I only see two people come
Look,
up
sir,
with
give me the form.
this case number.
The lady in federal told us to put everything there as you see the signature in the
Yeah,
bottom.
in the bottom.
To
That's
make
us
it easier
three.
for all of us.
We're all requesting
It's
it to
being
move.
submitted the
For us
same
three.
day.
We don't, so I only have two people under this case number though. I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying as far as the federal,
There's
but
another case number though. What number the other case number you
It's
said?
with my it's in my father. Okay, so the 5664, me, my father, and my mom have the same case assigned.
Mhm.
Then the 3-5, right? The 2235
Uh-huh.
case number. My mother and father are
Have
assigned
that.
to that case, but I'm not.
Yeah. Hi. The man, he told us to bring it back.
There's the case number for each person.
Okay, give me one moment.
Thank you, man.
Should we give him this one or that one, the copies?
Oh wait.
Miss?
Sorry. This is the
Use this
original.
one.
I'm sorry I did. Yeah.
All right, I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Back and forth, all these offices.
I'm seeing two. Edwidge is
Oh,
He's Miranda and the dad's
all right.
senior, yeah.
All received stamp this
Okay,
for the CDA. I'm not entirely sure.
okay.
I'll get
That's
it.
fine.
I'll notify him.
Okay, we'll add it to the file.
Can I get a copy of that?
I'm not able to give a copy. Do you want to take a picture of it?
I need the copy to send it back to
Yeah,
the
because
federal court.
that's what
That's what they
federal
wanted,
told
the
us.
stamp that you guys received it.
Yeah, it's a notice.
You have a copy? I
No, this is for the CDC.
That's why the stamp,
That now you guys have to give me a copy of that because you already stamped it
because it's verified by this
by the court that you
Give me a
guys received it. Mm-hmm. Of course we have it. Rights to
You
get
guys gonna
copy
do
of
that
it. What
shit?
you talking about,
The
girl?
fuck? Oh, dude.
They're really gonna lie to you, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
These motherfuckers are gonna go down either way. Why I keep trying to defend them?
She stamped it, therefore I need a copy that you stamped it so I can take it back.
That's what the federal clerk told me.
That's what they told
He
us.
said, fill this out, submit it into this court, then they'll stamp it, then you bring that copy.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
So there's no chance of us emailing it?
don't know how they
I'll-
work.
I'll-
the
I'll
conflict
figure it
of
out. Okay.
attorneys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. Have a
So
good day.
this is the one we take back to the federal court, huh?
Yeah.
It's already stamped?
That's what we submit to federal. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's
Thank you.
received. So, after endless amount of time, it took us 4 hours to submit the notice for removal. Why? Doesn't make sense. And that same day, when we gave them the notice for removal, we went upstairs to the appeal department, or the records room, where they keep all files of information. And I have the key information here that contradicts everything that they're doing to me and my family. So what I have here is an APP 151. But before we get into the bottom of what an APP 151 is, when we went to the records rooms, me and my mother, to the appeal department to look for the paper, they were saying it wasn't there. It was completely wiped out of my mom's appeal file. Like, there's nothing there. So they had the APP 151 hidden somewhere. And they're telling us, when was it filed? I have it on video. When was it filed? Or what exactly are you talking about? What are you looking for? And I told them an APP 151, which is an appeal that was filed on the 8th of August. And I told them, like, that's strange, because if you can't find it, I mean, I have a waiver at home, which I do. I had it was a petition waiver to, like, for an example, so you don't pay for the paperwork, or you have copy that it was filed. So I had that, and then they changed their whole demeanor. And after they changed their demeanor, this is where it gets crazy. They're all huddling in a corner, talking about what to do next. And every time, like, they try bullshitting, I'm gonna be honest, up front, straightforward to you guys, excuse my profanity, but every time they come to you with bullcrap that is fraud, which is to deceive you or make you have second thoughts about what you're doing, or maybe trying to trick you into not knowing what you're doing. So they'll have these people come to you and talk to you with the same topic, but trying to confuse you on the topic. So we're watching them huddle. And then later, out of nowhere, they bring out another person. My mom even says, I spoke to a lady named Adriana. So the same day it was filed, I spoke to her, and she guided us through it. So for it to not be there, it doesn't make any sense. What do you mean it's not there? Like, the only people that are entering that building, literally, is the people that work there, which is employees.
Hopefully she comes back with it.
Okay, you're Miss Miranda, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You want an ID?
So I did find
Mm-hmm.
8-6. So this was on a whole different case. That's the whole thing. I was
Oh, they
looking
moved
at
it to another
your
case?
case.
Well, I appealed it and I submit my brief, but the other part of our brief, the sheriff stole.
Okay, so this is just a printout of all the entries that were made on the case of the APP 151 that you filed.
Okay.
That's a wrap. So this is the order.
So how do I request it?
Was, if you need additional copies, I'm going to go ahead and give this to you.
Okay.
You need additional copies because there's multiple documents on that case. You need to go to records. And
Yeah,
that's
he
all
can't
that
find it,
has.
he said, in his record.
That has your case number on it.
So the APP 151 is in here?
Yes, it'll be a part of that whole
So,
case on
because
it.
he doesn't know what I'm asking, so
Right.
how can I request it?
That it has your case number on it.
Yeah,
You give that
Oh,
to them.
give it to
Give it
okay.
back to him?
Sounds good.
And they can print
he can
all
find the
that out.
APP, even the CP10 and everything, I can ask him?
It's all on there.
Okay, thank you so much,
All
miss.
on there. The APP was filed on that case.
Hopefully he finds it because I asked him, he doesn't know.
Pulled it up.
Okay, thank you so much, hon.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So the employees that take care of the appeal department room, right? Who could possibly get in there and steal documentations? You need a passcode, you need a key fob to get inside the door. You need keys. Nobody's just gonna randomly break into the courthouse and then make something magically vanish and disappear. So back to my topic. They end up giving it to us. This is the APP 151. This I could share with everybody because this was in state and this is where all the fraud is going on. I'll put up a picture for you guys. So APP 151 is an appeal. My parents appealed the case matter. So they appealed it and they had it shows right here there's a selection whether to stay in your home until the next court judgment or order. So therefore they had to wait on the other party's order, meaning the judge. So Moot Park, basically the LLC, that's the original LLC. The same people that brought up the same matter by changing their LLC, same management, same company, all of that. So matter they lost and falsely alleged that we don't pay rent when we have rent receipts. So that was appealed. Therefore, the party that we're going against, meaning the management, they would have to appeal or respond to the appeal as well. They can't just simply just vacate us out of our home without waiting for the court's order. And this is what they're hiding, everybody. This. And this is where they're gonna have to explain what probable cause. What eviction, what complete eviction. If that was your probable cause, how could this be your complete eviction? This is what they stolen that day on the 18th of September 18th. On August 7th, because this was filed August 6th, my father gave them a copy on the 7th. Why wasn't any arrest made that day or that month at all? Why were they running away when we called FBI or Homeland Security?
FBI.
Call the FBI. Call the FBI. Call the FBI. I don't give a shit.
Wait for the
Don't make false fucking claim here. Don't make false claim
They're
here.
calling the FBI. Wait for the FBI.
Call the FBI.
And the other number you're trying me to call, the what? Who?
Call the NSA.
NSA.
The Homeland Security.
Yeah, I am. I'm calling them right now.
Calling FBI.
Yeah.
You guys want to get all tactical? We're calling the FBI.
You guys gonna wait for the fucking court order. There is a judgment to stay. Well, I have one. I have one. Well, don't bring that bullshit with me.
They don't want to take
Don't have that shit with me. Yeah, I have a judgment. I have my judgment. My judgment right to stay. Read the paper.
Doesn't make sense, everybody. So, right here, as you guys will see, that it was in June 3rd that the matter was brought back up. So, from December 4th, it was dismissed because they didn't show up. And on top of that, they didn't show up, and it's the fact that we brought evidence and the case was sealed without prejudice. It was dismissed. It was sealed. It was dismissed. And then they brought it up by just changing the LLC with the same complaint matter. You can't do that. That's literally fraud. So, all this was filed. You see, like, I'm gonna read the prep for you. It says the parties in trial case, because this is what an appeal is. It's to take this matter straight to trial. And nothing could be done until the judge either orders something to be done or the trial case was dismissed. You know, simple as that. So A says, was a party in the case identified in X? It's marked X because it's verified, it's confirmed. And it says here, appeals or other petition for wits in this case. Did you or anyone else file an appeal about the same trial action or ruling you are challenging in this petition? And once again, it's going to be filed on yes, which is an X. And it says fill the applicant division case number of the appeal, which is right there. I'll put up a whole screen for that. Literally what I'm reading right here, I'll put up the whole picture for you. Have you filed a previous petition for a writ challenging this trial action or ruling? Yes. Please provide the following information about this previous petition. Setting aside the default, vacating default judgment, staying execution of judgment ex parte. So that's the petition title. It's our judgment to stay in our home until a judge orders the next judgment. Why did they come to my home with nothing like that? Why didn't they appeal the matter? Why did they come into my home on September 18 to steal these documents, thinking we'll never get this back? They thought me and my family were dumb enough to not be able to know paperwork or at least understand paperwork. I mean, it's common English and logic. When you put English and logic together, you may find your answer. And this is what proves everything that's contradiction in their reports. It proves all the contradictions in the reports. All of it. Literally all of it. It says, check here if you need more space to describe the reason for your petition and attach a separate page or pages describing it. And it was checked. It was checked. My father gave them an ex parte I have one of the ex partes, and I'll try to put it up here if I can. That means I couldn't find it, but this right here, the APP 151, sets us free. This creates an argument to explain what they're doing on private property in my home. They're gonna have to explain what probable cause, what jurisdiction they even had to be in my home. They got a copy of the appeal to let them know that, hey, this is put aside. You have to wait for the judgment of this order. Therefore, it's their fault, and they had to explain why they came to my home. Why did they antagonize? Why did they hurt us and beat us that day in my home? Why did they shoot my father, and why did they try to kill my father that day? Just to steal these evidence, all the paperwork I've been sending here, just to steal that so they could cover up for themselves and get away with the crimes they committed. They thought it was that easy, like they could just get away with hurting me and my family. No. We took this to federal, and now they had to deal with the government. They, the state, the people of Ventura County, had to deal with federal and explain themselves to me and federal and my family why they were there on the 18th in my home, trespassing. And then they're putting in more fabrications about my father. There's another false report that I heard, that my father tried or attempted to attack a firefighter, or supposedly hit a firefighter, punched him. But he's in the 3rd floor. He was live the whole time. There was no firefighters in the 3rd floor. So what, the person just fly to the 3rd floor and he punched him? I'm confused, because my father was live the whole time. The time he got shot, then he presented himself to you guys in live. That's the whole time you see him there. So what person did he hit? And it's crazy, like I could contradict all these lies. I have all the paperwork and my logic and my knowledge that I have obtained over these past months and years. So I simply ask, how is this simply going? And I put this here for Fox News or KTLA 5. I hope you watch this, because you guys claimed that it was an eviction, that we didn't want to come out of our homes, that there was only 3 people in our home. That's not true. That's not true, and this is where I'm going to contradict them right here, right now. And on top of that, it was not an eviction. APP 151 says otherwise. So hold on. There it is. This is what I want to show you guys. This is only just half of it. Can I turn the screen? I can't turn the screen. But it says, issue a stay ordering the trial court not to take any further action in this case until this court decides whether to grant or deny this petition. Asked the trial court to stay these proceedings, but the trial court denied this request, including in supporting documentation supporting documents, a copy of the trial court's order denying your request for a stay. My client. So you see, did not ask the trial court. We asked the trial court, and they said yes. So on top of that, here, I'm gonna show you. I could find it. It's right here somewhere. This was verified, and we submitted information that day. We submitted information that day on the for the APP 151. So on August 6th of 2024, my father had gave them documentation supporting his claims. So this is the front page, like it went through. It's verified, you know. And right here it's gonna show. Put this back up here for you guys. So yeah, supporting declaration of Maritza Miranda, Edward Mondazir. The declaration filed on August 2023. This was last year during the time of leading to December 4th, 2024. I mean, 2023, I'm sorry, December 4th, 2023. So that's why they brought up August 2023, because it's around that time frame. So the defendant's ex parte motion, this was on July 25. The motion includes detailed arguments supporting documents showing the plaintiff's misconduct. The court's refusal to grant or even discuss this motion is evidence of its failure to consider crucial aspects of the case. These documents record collective demonstrate that the trial court failed to consider crucial evidence and arguments that undermine the plaintiff's claims, thereby acting in a manner contrary to requirements set forth by relevant statutes and case law. So this is item 10B. I'll be putting all this up for you guys so you guys can read this, because this is information and well-detailed information that KTLA News or Fox News doesn't want to show you because they're spreading lies. It's all money to go hush hush and cover this up. Sorry about that, guys. My phone had died and it got hot. I had to take off my sweater. I wanted to share more things with you guys here to explain what I'm saying. So I read the ex parte, how the court fails to consider the crucial aspects of the case, right? I showed you guys that one. And this right here, this is what I'm gonna read to you after I get done reading this one to you. So the court transcript on June 3rd, basically that's when they brought the second matter up from the first matter, which was on December 4th of 2023. Now that we kind of have a good understanding of the boat and so on, we may proceed. The transcript reveals that the court ignored evidence submitted by the defendants showing timely rent payments and the plaintiff's refusal to accept these payments. And basically, the plaintiff in this case is the management, and supposedly my parents were the defendants. Like we said, we showed rent receipts, and I showed you guys as well up here. And this is contrary to the principles established in Storm v. Union. I guess that's a title for one of the penal codes for the courthouse. And I guess they're trying to make an example of which it was established, which states that a court must consider equitable principles in unlawful detainer action. So yes, it's giving that penal code an example of what they mean by principles of equitable, actions. And in the court transcript on December 4th of 2023, in default judgment on the favor of the defendants, plaintiff gave defendants a 3-day notice to quit on August 18, 2023. This is 2023, guys. Come to court seeking payment. They refused multiple times, and payment that they already received and cashed, because they cashed it into their bank accounts already, saying, oh, we didn't receive your payment, but we have a receipt of that payment. So therefore, if the payment was received to you, therefore you either cash it out somewhere or something. You're hiding it. Who knows? And then this shows, the third one says, defendants exhibit A and B. These exhibits include copies of money order, stubs and certified mail receipt proving the defendants attempted to pay rent on time. The court's omission of these documents in its judgment violates Civil Code 1485, which is a civil code, which states that an obligation is extinguished by an offer of performance made with the intent to extinguish the obligation. Kind of like, sort of like I would assume, from my knowledge, a bribe, maybe. That's what it sounds like. Defendant's Exhibit C. This exhibit contains the plaintiff's ledger noting the payments for March through July 2023, highlighting the consistent overpayment of rent. The court's failure to address this evidence contravenes Civil Code 3517, which states that no one can take advantage of his own wrong. Defendant's Exhibit D emails and certified mail receipts showing attempts to pay rent in July 23 and plaintiff's refusal to accept the payments. The court's neglect in considering these, so they neglected considering those. So on to here, this is pretty much key. This is where it's signed from my mom and father. I have been ordered to vacate my residence by August 7, 2024, providing only 14-day notice. I am primarily caregiver for a 74-year-old dementia patient and for 4 minors, including a 17-month-old baby. The eviction pose severe risk to health and safety of my dependents due to the lack of adequate time to find suitable altering housing. So we were looking for a housing. This is why this was filed, to keep everything in hold along with the case, especially when there's fraud going on. Tell me this, people, how are you gonna win a case when a courthouse along with its lawyers are all doing fraud, making sure you don't get a fair hearing, not a fair trial? That's why there was an appeal, because my family weren't being treated as I stated here in this paper. Paperwork doesn't lie. Paperwork doesn't lie, especially when it could contradict the story of whatever narrative that they're inputting to the society and public, and giving us a bad reputation and name. Like, come on, man. This could all be proven. That's why KTLA 5 and Fox News, once again, I bring them up because I'm gonna put their clip up here. I'm gonna put their clip up here for spreading false information, which they will be sued for defamation. They will. So I have constantly paid my rent in full on time, and the eviction is based on false claims by the plaintiff. I will be putting this picture up. This was filed on August 6, 2024. And the last statement here on 5 says, the case was previously excuse me guys, I have a hard time reading sometimes. Previously addictuated to I don't know. I'm sorry. It's a tongue twister at this time, but you guys will be able to read what I'm having a problem with. But in my favor, and the current eviction order is unjust and inequitable. Equitable, meaning like it's not right, and it's false, and it's not truly being equitable on both sides. Not both people are being treated equitable or something like that. And yeah, this was filed on August 6, 2024. This here contradicts it all. And from now on, everybody, federal, now that it's taken in federal, we will now be allowed, me, my parents, my family, will be allowed to share our side of the story in federal, along submit crucial evidence that we've been documenting that shuts this whole thing down. And I thank everybody for your support and help, for viewing this, for spreading it to everybody that can see the wrongdoings of others. And I hope that our videos here, me and my family, encourage any other family that's dealing with discrimination or racism. And once again, from my point of view, what I see racism is, it's not just about color. It also has to do with your quality in class, supposedly. For an example, if you're nowhere near the middle class or a high class where you have money, you could be white, you could be any shade of color, you will still be treated wrong about those people that are in power, that abuse the power, all for money. But this is racism. Racism is when you could take someone's freedom away with just fake paperwork. Like, you could work for the government and just steal somebody's freedom away. You're giving a bad input on the government along with everybody that works alongside of the government. And it's sad because most people that don't really have a perspective on things like that will blame the government because of those people that are in power, the wrong people that are in power choose to do wrong things. So racism is when they steal your freedom. They could steal your education away. It's posted on the YouTube. It's crazy how they said we'll take a 5-minute break and then proceeded to expel me for defending myself from a kid who brought a gun to school. Can you believe that? That's racism. And then to come for our home, to take our money, and then to make us poor, or try in every way of their power to make us cripple and poor. Yeah, that's racism. And to be prejudiced to another is, let's say maybe you do have your own preference or perspective that you may hate the person of their color. And let's say you just only extract words with each other, but you never use violence. Therefore, that is a sign of prejudice and bias towards another. It isn't racism. Racism isn't to call another person an N-word, hard R in front of their face. If it's just a word and it doesn't affect you, like physically or hurt you, therefore, that's just them being prejudiced. Not racist, prejudice. Racist is what they're doing to me and my family right now. This explains what racism is. And I hope that this later on in the future is something that could help people that are dealing with matters similar to my case and my family's case. And I thank everybody from now on. And I hope my father comes out on April 8th. That's his next court date, along with my mother. So may good things happen. I know federal, I have my faith in the government. Right now, if it wasn't for federal, me and my family would be considered patriots, which we are right now, until some form of government steps in and takes control of the matter and investigates and see what's going on. So, I probably won't make another video, probably from a few weeks from now or something. We'll have to see everybody. I like to stay within the moment, present, enjoy the view and everything. So my vision, or what I see truly, is that I hope my father could come out on the 8th, and maybe we could all go live and discuss more matters there. Or maybe you guys have questions for my father and he may answer them on that day. And thank you guys. May you guys have a blessed day and enjoy April, because it's by far the most beautiful month of the whole year. And yeah, just have a good day. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for listening.